Okay guys, here sharing. My name is Joe Lexter, code name. I'm going to share the unboxing of this wonderful lot I just got off eBay. We have the Wizzards and Warriors version of the monster set from Grenadier models. We also have the Wizzards and Warriors Explorer set by Grenadier models. Circa, what, 1980? I guess, 79 maybe? I don't know. Some of you guys will know the dates. Pretty sure 1980, 79 might have been the earliest. We had Wizzards and Warriors, of course, going on before they received the permission to put Advanced Dungeons and Dragons on their sets. So it's kind of a cool find for me. I actually have these sets already, and so I'm going to go over a few things with you. Of course, anyone who's into this stuff knows that they change these sets quite a bit through the years, but that's okay because it makes for interesting collecting. Very pretty box, nice shape, great artwork, of course. No split corners or anything. Nice shape. Okay, this, as you'll see, sometimes you'll get into these where the foam is completely destroyed, which in this case the foam is brittle. I guess it gets dried out or something happens. I have many of these sets and I've only had this happen or found this a couple times, so certain environmental issues will cause that, I'm sure. Anyway, the guy had them wrapped in these, which was nice of him, although it didn't save the foam. So get rid of this bubble paper. And voila, we have a bunch of crap. No, just kidding. It's good stuff. I already did the Explorer's box, but we'll go over that second. What a little find. So from the auction picture, I wasn't sure whether I had 20 figures in here, so I took a chance. Got it for what I consider to be a song. And counted the best I could in the picture. I think there's 20, but we'll find out. Here we have the werewolf. Nice looking figure. We have a slime. That's the older style. That's a cool figure. We have what I consider to be a chaotic warrior, kind of, or a barbarian. We have a wraith, common from that set. Where we're at, we've got an orc with some foam stuck on it. Get that off of there. There we go. Orc with a glaive, I guess you'd call it. Ah, another orc with a glaive. Uh-oh. Glaive is slightly bent. Now you'll find that sometimes, and it's scary. But this is old lead, so a lot of times you can come back and carefully fix it. I don't know. That one looks a little fractured, but we'll live with it. I probably have more, because I have quite a collection of these. Orc with glaive. Now we have the gargoyle. This is an interesting one. We'll go over that one later. More bolt pepper. A fire elemental. Awesome. We have another orc. This orc, of course, you probably have seen many times. Okay, we'll keep going. Now we have a goblin. The sword, the venerable type. A vampire with pet bat, familiar. A naga, common one. Should have been in the monster set the whole time. Now we have this skeleton. Some red flags should be going off here. First of all, yes, his arm's bent, but that's not too bad. Fix that slightly. But let's look at that skeleton. Does he belong in this? We'll talk about it. Another goblin. Looks like we got some dupes in here. Interesting. I think that this set is original. I think that no one took anything out of it. That is an assumption, I know. Not smart. But, and then we have here a Medusa. We'll talk about all this stuff. Uh-oh, I have a piece. No, that's just a flash. I have another orc or goblin. There's a lot in here. This is going to be an interesting discussion. This is going to be very interesting. I have a mummy. Don't touch him. He'll rot ya. A lich with a horn. That's a cool figure. He's been in quite a few of these types of sets. They have one more lich with his hand up like that, with nothing in his other hand. So it's the second. This is Lich 1 variation, I'll assume, because this is an older set. But I just blew that stuff all over the place. This blue foam is probably toxic, just like the lead is, or they say lead is toxic. I'm not eating lead, so it's not toxic to me. Okay, put my finger out of the way. This is the Balrog. This is the second version of this, the bigger one. This tells me that this set may be not as old as I could have gotten. Okay, so now we've got a complete mess here. It's alright. This foam is totally turning to dust. So, I mean, this is like an archaeological find where there's dust everywhere. Anyway, I'll switch off this. Get this out of the way. Okay. Now let's discuss this. I would kind of be at a loss to even talk about this. I'm sorry about the shadow. We should get a lamp in here. That's alright. We'll live. There it is. And what did we say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20. We got a 20. A natural 20. Right there. Beautiful, isn't it? Now you say, okay, you may not have an original. Some kid may have switched some things. I don't know. I don't think so. This is what it changed into. Monsters. Alright. So we went from this, and I am using another box example that I had, to this. Notice Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and Wizards and Warriors, because they couldn't say Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I guess because Gary said they couldn't. We need to listen to Gary. Anyway, so I will open this, which, like I said, I had already. And whoa, we got a description sheet. Cool. Now, of course, you know these were shrink wrapped to the back of the box. So when you picked up the set in the hobby shop, you know, you looked at the back of the box and you saw your description sheet of what am I going to get with this thing. This probably says somewhere, you know, that figures may not exactly match. Well, it should, because sometimes you got that. Oh yes, unfortunately, I don't have my wings to this gargoyle. That's a bummer. That sucks. I'm digging through the foam. Nope. So that scares me. What? Or whoever. So that's a disappointment. I don't know if I have those somewhere stashed in my bits. Maybe I do. Anyway, here's the sets that are supposed to, here's the things that are supposed to be in here. And Medusa's totally different. Zombie. There's no zombie. Vampire has changed. You'll notice. The Wraith is the same. Here is the Wraith. And it is the same in the old set. There's your Lich with a horn. That's this version anyway. Oh, the other Lich is in Tomb of Spell stuff. Anyway, and here is the Mummy. Interesting variation. We have a mummy with his hand higher, and a mummy slightly different, if you'll notice from that picture. So this mummy is another casting. So that's older. So they changed it in the newer ones. Were-Rat's different. Now this Were-Rat's interesting because he looks so similar to the ones you find in the Gamma World monster sets, the Batters, in my opinion. They changed them. There were several versions of Were-Rats with Grenadier. There's another one in the 8002 Action Art set. It's sideways with a like a mace or a flail. Then there's a Grenadier yellow blister pack that has a couple of different Were-Rats in it. But this is the oldest one, I think, and that guy. But I think this is the oldest, by far, than the thin, skinny guy. At any rate, it's kind of interesting. Ghoul. I don't see any ghouls. Nope, unless you count some of these. Nope, there's no ghoul. Okay, but we'll go over that. Now, this is what I want to talk to you about on a skeleton. This skeleton is a Tomb of Spells skeleton captain, and that is a skeleton you usually find. Why would that be in this set? Somebody screwed up, maybe. Werewolf, same. That I don't think there's anything different in. Sometimes on these you'll notice that bases have been trimmed down. That's the other variation. Now here we have that orc we're talking about. This is the orc with lesser orc with sword, they call it in this. That's the same. But the goblin is not. Okay, so we have a different goblin. And we have two of these in this older set, Wizzards and Warriors. There's my gargoyle I was telling you about. Looks the same, but wings are gone. This is a one-piece casting for the wings in this. And this was a two-piece. There were two little wings that are gone, which is a disappointment. As I unbox this find. There's the gargoyle. Then we have another goblin and another orc. I don't have those in these. I have the guys with the glaives. I have the orc with the glaive. This is Wizzards and Warriors orc. Some of these guys you'll find had the Saruman or the white hand symbol on their shields if they had shields. So this was from the Wizzards and Warriors blister packs, which came out, I think, before the box sets. Okay, so there's our orcs, there's our goblins. Like I said, we got two of the goblins with sword, we got two of the orcs with the glaives. Oops, there's our chat again. Last row is the Yeti. He's not in here. And we have a wind elemental in this one. We have a fire elemental in this one. So they really changed some things. Well, there's our slime, and we got this slime, which I like this one better. Well, if I didn't know it, I'd think that was a heritage, but I don't think it is. It's Wizzards and Warriors. Just messing with you. And there's our Balrog. That's the final version of the Balrog. They put his arm down. They made his his horn shorter. I guess he didn't break off as easy. This one's nice. Real nice. I bet I could get what I paid for the whole box set for this if I sold this guy separately. Pretty nice figure. Get him in there. There he is. So they altered that casting multiple times. Now this guy will show you another version. He was smaller than this. Roughly the same pose, but smaller. So then they changed him a third time. Maybe there's more. I don't know. From what I know, there's three versions of this guy. There's a smaller that looks like this one, and then this guy with the sword down. And voila, here he is. Kind of interesting. Put these in the box. Take a look at them. As far as that goes. Same height, roughly. Horns are different. Either that or they lowered the hair. Perspective. Sword is down. Arm is down. Maybe the molds were tearing. I've heard people say in the discussion groups on Facebook. Maybe the molds were tearing. They changed them. Maybe swords were breaking. They were complaining. We're having to send them free figures and apology letters, whatever. So, we don't have to do that. So we'll fix the figure. We'll change the casting, which is cool. So I've got two. So this would be cool, you know, if you were going to paint these guys up and you wanted to fight a couple of demons. You got two variations, so it's kind of neat. So we'll put this guy back in here, and we're done. So 20 figures, missing wings. Now here's what I want to talk about before I conclude. And this might not be too quick, so here is my set I had before. Now, you say, well, how did the kid know what was going to be in this thing? That's a good question. Because they didn't have these. They didn't have the description sheet in this. Or did they? Alright. Here's what I found through collecting over the years. This puppy right here. Okay. I believe, and now I'm going into fantasy world here slightly, this was the description sheet that this came with, that the first editions of these came with. Okay? This was the only sheet that each of these sets came with. Explorers, monsters, perhaps Western gunfighters and space squadrons is in here. See? This is the sheet that all of these sets came with. And so you had a vague idea. If you look on the front, you will find, and I will try to scan this and put it out for everybody. If you count through here and you look, there's the fire elemental, there's the Balrog, you know, there's some things, they're mixed up a little, but roughly within a certain area, there's that Medusa. Okay. Roughly within these areas, you will find each set has been sat out here in this description sheet. See? So you could roughly see, if I put this description sheet on the back of each of these when I shrink wrapped them, as a manufacturer may have done, I find the kid can, or the collector can look at these and go, okay, here's what I get. Okay, then that didn't go so well, I believe. So then they made the newer description sheets that showed you exactly what you were getting. Okay, so the only way you're going to know, and so, but also what happened, I believe, is that this gave the guys a little bit of leeway in what they could put in the sets. You see? They were able to put what they had in the sets. I mean, I'm pushing the fantasy here, but it's fantasy. It's a fantasy subject. What I'm saying is that you will get a lot of different variations in these Wizards and Warriors sets. Okay? Case in point. Here's the one I just pulled the description sheet out. I've had this one for years. Another score off of eBay. Now look at this. Okay, there's that same skeleton. See, this appeared later in Tomb Spells. So, and we saw the other version had no helmet on and all that, and no shield, which is the common one you see in monsters. This was the one that was in the set. Now look at this Lich. Totally different, with a horn. Okay, and he's holding this severed hand up. This is a really old one. This set is older. I know that mostly by the Balrog. This was the first version. Looks similar to the other one, but he's smaller. See? That's the first version of the Balrog. Someone painted him a long time ago. Okay, there's the fire elemental. Here's another version of a werewolf. Happen to have two of those. Here's a really old, now I stand corrected or sit corrected. That's the oldest were-rat. Sorry about that. I lied. There is my gargoyle with his wings. Now, I think I've done little parts, so maybe I'll cast these just to fix it. Trick some poor person that buys it. No, just kidding. There's the old version of the mummy. There's another kind of wraith. See, this set is super stinking old. There's your goblin, your chaotic warrior, and this is one of the ghouls or zombie. This is the zombie. Yeah. See. And then they started putting that other guy in there. And there's the vampire with his familiar, and there is yet another kind of slime. See? So, this is a cool, nicely painted little Medusa. Painted in the late 70s, probably. And there's another goblin, see? So what I'm going to say here is, this is probably an original set. I think that this is how they packaged it. And when you bought this, you had a general idea what you were getting, but it still gave them a leeway of what they were casting, and maybe it was just a little bit of a rough situation. Because you will see that if you purchase multiples of these like I have when they come up, there's variations in here. And this sheet kept them to where they had some leeway until they probably got more professional, and they had to make it show exactly what you got. So I bet you this is original. Although it seems cheesy a bit to get some dupes in here, you got 20 figures. You know, and back in the day they were what, 12 bucks? $13.50 when I was buying them for the box of 20. So I think it's interesting. I will go over Explorers in the next video. And if you want anything, you want any more information about any of this, just shoot me a message and I will reply as soon as I can. Keep gaming. See you later.